This week has been insane. This is a recap of everything that's happened this week. The good and the not so good. Let's talk about it. Let's just address the elephant in the room. These two videos were posted yesterday.
Make sure if they get food, we'll sit down.
Long story short, me and my family tried to go to Old Lady Gang, and that situation just wasn't for me. And I want to be very clear. Usually when celebrities come in, they want to be treated like that. I'm not a celebrity. I'm a normal person. So I get the employee was just trying to do her job. I'm just not the target audience for that kind of treatment. So we went to another place. We went to the Toast on Linux timeline. We went to Old Lady Gang. I shot the video. We left and went to Toast on Linux. Toast on Linux is where those two videos were taken. I had no intention of shooting the video. We just went to eat food. We walked up. It was a 2.5 hour wait time. But the people that were waiting were dressed to the nines, head to toe. On Sunday in Atlanta, people go to brunch, so they expect to wait. We didn't know that. While I was there, me and my wife took a picture with a lady who does food reviews. She has nothing to do with the situation other than the fact that we took a picture together while she was eating. They said it was a 2.5 hour wait time. We said, okay, we're gonna go somewhere else. While we walked out, the entire staff walked out behind us. They attempted to implore us to stay and said that we could sit down immediately. Again, I'm not the target audience for that. Usually I would just leave, but before we left, we saw 2 cars with 2 people in each car. So they were separate. It was 2 girls in one car over here. It was 2 girls in one car over here. One car had been waiting for an hour and a half. The other car had been waiting for an hour. One car was trying to do takeout. One car was trying to sit down. So again, the people that were waiting inside that were dressed to the nines, they didn't mind waiting. But the people that were sitting in these cars, I didn't like that. So the owner and the manager walked out and they offered us a table for us to be able to sit down. We told them as a family that we would do takeout, but we wouldn't eat in the restaurant. And the only way we would do takeout is if they gave the table that they was going to get us to the 2 girls that was sitting in this car, which they did. And on top of that, they had to make sure the girls that was sitting in this car got takeout before we did, which again, they did. The staff and the owner were extremely accommodating. They were nice, they were accommodating, they were professional. And again, that's just my experience. When we got the food, we all enjoyed it. Personally, the food was good to me. But again, I wasn't recording anything. I was just eating. We paid for our food and I tipped the waitress $500. I wasn't gonna say nothing about it because again, I was just eating food. But these videos came out and I just wanted to make sure we clear that up. The lady we met inside the restaurant had nothing to do with anything. She was just eating food. And I wasn't arguing with nobody. I don't argue. I even said in the video that they recorded. I'm just Keith. Social media aside, I'm a normal person. Cardi B went live last night and she said this about our situation.
Talking about this guy called Keith that he does restaurant review. And I'm like, who is that? Who is that? I know that being a restaurant owner is a lot of hard work. And so many people have invested money in their restaurants. People, you know, like this is their everything. But I always find this. Eating in Atlanta, it is such an event. You could barely order in Atlanta restaurants. Like you go like, hey, I would like to make order. Oh yeah, we don't take orders. They don't do no pickup orders. They don't do deliveries.
God is amazing. Shout out to Cardi B. The Real Milk and Honey is one of the restaurants that me and my family went to. The Real Milk and Honey and Milk and Honey are 2 different restaurants. The Real Milk and Honey is a restaurant we went to. Milk and Honey is a restaurant we did not attend. I already was very clear and transparent, asking y'all not to leave hate anywhere. But specifically, don't leave hate to the Milk and Honey. They didn't do anything. Update, I just received a notice from the owner of the Milk and Honey. The place that we did not go to, them and their employees been receiving death threats. I'm absolutely 100% not with that. That's so corny and so lame, regardless of my opinion on any restaurant, even if it's the Real Milk and Honey. We don't do that over here at all. If you do that, you are not somebody that watch me and not somebody that support what me and my family are on. God bless you. And I mean, under any circumstances, that's not okay in my eyes. But again, if y'all would listen to me, don't leave hate nowhere. If you would like to have your own personal experience on any of these restaurants, I encourage you to go. But now to the most important thing. These are all the amazing things we're able to do while we're in Atlanta.
I've been through so much to open this restaurant. Didn't even know I was going to be able to open it. And you know, tonight, who walked through my door? Keith Lee.
Hey everyone, it's Brie. Welcome back to my channel. I'm back in the video, and I am here to talk about Keith Lee versus these Atlanta restaurants. Now, if y'all haven't noticed, I am wearing an Atlanta, Georgia sweatshirt. Now, you wanna know what's so funny? I had this sweatshirt for about a couple weeks now, and I was trying to find something to wear for this video, and I'm like, wait a minute, I have a sweatshirt that says Atlanta on it. Now, disclaimer, I am not from Atlanta, never been to Atlanta, but I had to wear this shirt. Like, I don't care how petty it may seem. I had to wear this shirt for this video. But yeah, so basically Keith Lee has been getting a lot of both support and backlash about this whole situation with him going to Atlanta this past week. I think he might still be in Atlanta currently, where he is going to all of these local restaurants in Atlanta to review them. So for those of y'all who may not know, Keith Lee is a really popular influencer, mainly on TikTok, where he reviews small restaurants. And he has been notorious for literally changing the lives of some of these restaurant owners.
Popular TikToker Keith Lee is sparking a lot of conversation about Atlanta's food scene.
Packed of Keith Lee. Look at these cars lined up, y'all. This area is always empty, but this is just one side. It is never packed, but this is the dining experience.
Oh, you got these people attention now. Talk that talk, George. You got these people attention now. Now they know it's not a game no more.
A lot of them, you know, they may have been struggling or they don't get a lot of customers. But with the Keith Lee review, their business ends up like booming and taking off. And so that has kind of been his thing. Now, he did start out as like an MMA fighter, I believe. Like he has like a whole backstory about that. It's actually a really good interview with him and Kev on Stage and That Chick Angel. They did an interview with him where he talked about his upbringing, talked about, you know, how he got to where he is today. And honestly, his story is like really, really inspiring. But people mainly know him today as someone that goes to local restaurants and food trucks and he'll, you know, review them. And his reviews are honest, right? Like, I don't think every single review he's ever done has been positive, but it's usually the positive ones that take off, which thank God, because, you know, usually it's the negativity that takes over the internet. But he's been one of the more positive influencers, you know, online. However, he had a not so great positive experience as of recently. And it wasn't just his review that took off, but it was the restaurant's response that got people talking. And so basically he went to this restaurant in Atlanta called The Real Milk and Honey, which I will say, and I've seen a lot of people talk about this as well, about the confusion behind this restaurant. Because for those of y'all who don't know, there's actually a restaurant in the DMV area called Milk and Honey, like just Milk and Honey. And I was getting a little confused because their logos look the same, the names of the restaurants are the same. So at first I thought he was talking about, you know, the Milk and Honey that's in like DC, but he's not talking about that one. He's talking about a whole nother separate restaurant called The Real Milk and Honey that's in Atlanta. And he talked about having, you know, a pretty bad experience there.
Me and my family are in Atlanta, and currently we are at The Real Milk and Honey. I got it. Let's try it and rate it 1 through 10. As you can see, I don't have any bags in my hands. We are at The Real Milk and Honey on Main Street in College Park. Before we came, we attempted to call our order in. We were greeted with an automatic message that said they do not take call-in orders. The automatic message said the only way you can do pickup is through DoorDash. We went through DoorDash, they was closed. But online, it said they closed at 5 o'clock. We went on DoorDash at 4 o'clock, but we were already here, so we just went inside. I stayed in the car and my family went in and they told them they were closed early for deep cleaning. Yet the door's wide open and it's people still going in and grabbing their orders. Now we have no idea if those people ordered beforehand or what the case is. Also, the people who relayed this message, my family said were really nice. It's just the rules. And so far being in Atlanta, I found some places do have unique rules, and this is one of them. I want to be very clear, we're not blaming one person or saying one person was rude. In plain terms, don't call this restaurant trying to get nobody fired. Ain't nobody do nothing. This is just the rules they had. If you don't like their rules not for you. And for me and my family, the rules just wasn't for us. We just not their target audience. For the record, afterwards, I did walk in and they did recognize me and they attended the services, but I respectfully declined. I'm a normal person. I pay for my food like everybody else. I walk in spots like everybody else. We are all normal people. Respectfully, if you're not gonna do it then, don't do it now. God bless you. But yeah, we're just trying to get some food. But I am gonna make this very clear. I do not support, condone, or agree tearing down these businesses. While we personally may not have the best customer service experience, that does not mean you will have the same experience. That also don't mean go on Twitter and tear these businesses down. At the end of the day, business owners are people. You never know what people are going through. The only reason I'm even making this is to share my authentic and real experience like I always do. I don't mean no harm, I don't have no malicious intent, but I always say I'm gonna be 100% honest, and that come with the good and the not so good. You don't know what nobody going through, so what we can't do is just judge off of somebody else's experience. If you like to go to these places or any other place that I've been to, I encourage you to go try it for yourself and make your own opinion. But we still in Atlanta, and we on Main Street, and it's a bunch of spots here, so we're gonna go to a different spot. God bless you, have an amazing day, y'all be safe.
I think he even talked about like the rules, them having like unnecessary rules. With that's also been like a thing that a lot of people have talked about, how a lot of these black restaurants in particular, they have all of these extra like rules. So I actually have some of the rules pulled up here. I'm gonna put them on screen, of course. So reading some of these rules, right? So they got right here, we guarantee good food, everything else is left to chance. Okay. We do not provide individual checks. However, we will allow up to 3 forms of payment. I already don't like this. And this goes back to all of the discourse online about who should be paying for the dinner. Maybe I'm just not within the tax bracket for these conversations, but for me personally, if me and my friends are going out to eat, right, especially if it's just like a casual going out to eat, everybody is paying for their own bill. Okay. We're doing separate checks. Okay, there isn't no like one person pays for everybody. Now, yes, you could do a situation, right, where you have one person put it on their card and then everybody sends that person the money back. But for the most part, at least within my friend groups, we all just pay for our own meals. We get what we can afford, and we don't have to worry about all the extraness that comes along with that. So just know, if you go to the real Milk and Honey, you cannot separate your check. Then they have 18% gratuity added to parties of 5 or more, or checks larger than $75. However, this thing goes into the rule towards the bottom. Let me see here. Where is it? Okay, I actually don't see it on here, but I could have sworn I had seen something, you know, in regards to them not allowing like a certain amount of people there. But anyway, moving on. It says no modifications to any menu item. If you have a food allergy, please choose another item. This is actually ridiculous. Now, I will say, because I have just now started to go out to restaurants more often, growing up, my mom never did like custom requests when it came to eating out. I just would always get what was on the menu. So much so that I didn't even know that it was a thing. That you could like make custom requests. Like you could say, hey, can you leave this off? Or hey, can you like not add this on? I didn't even know that was a thing until I got like older. But to say that if you have a food allergy, to just choose another item, I think is ridiculous. So you're literally, not only are you turning away potential customers that have food allergies, you also aren't, but that's a safety thing. Like that's a safety and health issue. Like every single restaurant should take allergies seriously, because if something happens, or if some, like literally anything can happen. Some people's allergies are so bad that like if the food that was on the plate previous to them, if it had something on there that they're allergic to, it could cause a reaction. Like some people just off of the food, touching their food, like contact. Like if the food comes into contact with anything that they touch, they can have a severe allergic reaction. Why would you not put in the proper why would you not take that into consideration? Why would you not ensure that, you know, people with allergies are also safe when consuming your food? To tell them just to choose another item is just ridiculous and dangerous at that. And it's also annoying too, because again, this was before I knew that most restaurants do allow for you to modify your order. It would always be frustrating to me when I would see something on the menu and they would have like something on there that because again, this was me as a kid, right? I would see something, I would want it, but then there's like this one thing on there that I don't like, and I'm like, oh, I can't get that menu item. I now know I can modify it, but back then I didn't know. And so it would be a shame if I went to a restaurant, right, and let's say I wanted to get the chicken, right, but then they have like gravy on it, and I'm like, okay, I want the chicken but without the gravy. The fact that you don't allow that is crazy to me. And again, it's like, how are you conducting good business by doing that? Okay, so, you know, continuing on with the rules, right, they have please be nice, sorry, no reservations at this time. Okay, fine. No table hibernation, 90 minutes max. I think this is ridiculous. Because when it comes to restaurants, right, you are in a service-based industry, right? To tell somebody that they have a limited time to sit there and enjoy and digest their food and to enjoy conversations with their loved one, to me is ridiculous. Not to mention the fact, because I would hope that if they have a 90-minute max time for you being allowed to sit there and eat, I would hope that the food comes out really fast then, because some of these restaurants take their time with getting your food out. So I would hate to be, you know, seated at a table and my 90 minutes start as soon as I sit down, but then y'all take 45 minutes to get my food out. That means I only have 45 minutes to eat my food, let it digest, talk to, my friends. Like, who even wants to be under that amount of pressure eating at a restaurant? Like, again, it makes no sense to me. Then we have, if we prepare your selected item to our menu specifications, we will not remove the item from your bill. I guess, again, I think hospitality wise, this just isn't a good move. Large parties are not guaranteed to sit together. We're a small place and sometimes it's hard to accommodate. I think with this one, again, it's like tying back to their other rule where it's like they don't allow reservations. It's just like at this point, like, who are you expecting to come eat here? Like, y'all got all these extra rules and it's just like no one wants to deal with all this. We have no waiting area inside. Keep in mind, if on a wait list, you can receive a text when your table is ready. I just... Oh, you want to know what's so crazy? So apparently these are the changed rules. This whole time I've been reading the changed rules. Okay, let me read the original rules that were on here. This is what had me messed up. Because I'm sitting here reading it and I'm like, this doesn't sound like the rules that I read before. Because it wasn't. Now we'll put the real rules back up. Okay, so these are the rules that they had before they got the backlash on social media. Number 1, we guarantee great food. Okay, we read that. We do not provide individual checks. Okay, we read that. 18% gratuity. Yep. Okay, 4, 5, 6. So for 6, they put no reservations unless you're Barack Obama. So already, and we'll get into it with the old lady gang situation where a lot of these Atlanta restaurants, they prioritize celebrities over regular paying customers. Okay, we read number 7, 8. Okay, so this is the one I was talking about. Number 9 says no parties larger than 4 on days that end in Y, which is literally every single day of the week. But then you have the rule up top that says 18% gratuity added to parties of 5 or more, or checks larger than $75. So again, why would you have this rule about parties of 5 or more, but then on number 9, y'all say no parties larger than 4? It makes no sense. Okay, so I guess that was all the things that I missed. Oh, and on number 10, where it says there's no waiting area, at the very end, it says naps in your car are fine. It's the audacity for me. You know what? I'm actually kind of glad that Keith Lee reviewed this place so I can never go. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad he put them on blast, because there's literally no way that this restaurant is gonna get any business. Now, there might be some people that go just for the sake of being nosy and for the sake of going to something that went viral, but I think in terms of longevity, this restaurant is not gonna last very long, especially with all the bad negative press about it. And so essentially, the owners of this establishment put out a shady Instagram reel, TikTok, essentially shading Keith Lee, making it seem like they didn't even know who he was.
Did you see this Keith Lee video about the real Milk and Honey?
And who is this Keith Lee?
Daddy, you don't know Keith Lee? Yeah.
No.
And just the way that they handled the constructive criticism from Keith Lee, I think it's just very tacky. Like, they almost tried to make it seem like they didn't really know who he was. And I don't think that was the best approach to go with it. And so, of course, this set everybody just on fire. Most people were on Keith's side, and most people still are on his side. But then you still had a few other people that felt like, he maybe shouldn't have, put them on blast. But this is literally what he does. This is what he's been doing. This is what he's known for. He's known for going to restaurants, usually going to restaurants undercover and giving people authentic reviews of these food places. And I'm sorry, if your establishment is not up to code, and if y'all are out here with ridiculous rules and you're not serving people properly, then you deserve to be put on blast. Like, you should always be on your best behavior, whether you have an influencer coming in or not. And this goes into the whole Old Lady Gang situation. So for those of y'all who don't know, Old Lady Gang is a restaurant that's owned by Kandi Burruss. It's inspired by her aunts, and it's a really popular place in Atlanta. But I have been hearing for a minute that the experience there just isn't good. People are normally standing in lines for a very long time. I've heard of people saying that the staff isn't, always nice to them. Like, I've heard negative things said about her restaurant in particular, which I think is really unfortunate.
I got some bullshit to tell y'all. So y'all know Candy from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So we went to her restaurant in Atlanta, the Old Lady Gang. Bitch, that is straight trash. Tell me why they brought back the drinks in plastic cups. Cause they said they ain't got no fucking clean dishes.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Zay from the Bay, and I just gotta come to y'all because I get irritated kind of fast, but this one is really crazy. So I'm here at Old Ladies Gang, and I ordered the deviled eggs as my appetizer, and we all ordered our food. And they do have on a thing where they do not take off the food if the food was basically if you didn't make no substitution and they made it just how it was. There's no reason why they're gonna take it off the bill, which I respect that. My drinks came cool, my food came cool, yes, but my appetizer just got here and it's cold. It got here after my food, and I just think it's crazy. And it's always the black restaurants. The service has been piss poor, definitely from the hostess stand. We're at the hostess stand. They told my mom she couldn't wait inside the store, and it's raining outside. I was already gonna go get my car anyways. So then when we come back to come check in, there's people waiting inside the lobby. So why couldn't my mom wait in the lobby when it's raining outside, but these people wait in the lobby and it's raining outside?
Keith Lee has now added to those negative reviews. He essentially said that he sent his family there to eat, to see, you know, what their experience would be like. And they literally made his family wait like an hour and some change to be seated. However, when he pulled up to eat there, they had a table ready in 5 minutes.
Yesterday, me and my family were at the One Music Festival. Somebody who works with Candy Birds walked up to us and said they've been trying to reach us since we got to Atlanta. He said he'd been constantly emailing me and constantly DMing me for me to come to Old Lady Gang. I got it. Let's try it and rate it 1 through 10. As you can see, I don't have any bags in my hands. Me and my family showed up and we attempted to order before we got here. We called the number they had connected on Yelp 3 times, no answer. We tried to order through DoorDash and it said it was temporarily closed. So when we pulled up, I sent my family in to order for us. They said on the weekends, due to being busy, they don't do any takeout at all.
They do to-go orders? No, we don't do to-go on the weekend. Oh, okay, so send and dining. Yes. Okay, thank you, sweetie. We appreciate you.
Which is completely understandable. So what we decided to do is my family's gonna go eat. They're gonna come bring the food out while I'm sitting in the car, so they have no idea I'm here. My family asked how long the wait was to be seated. They said an hour to an hour and a half.
Yes, hour and a half. Okay.
She also said they didn't have any reservations available, so they didn't take down any number, any contact information, nothing. My family then came and relayed that message to me, and I decided to go in myself. We walked in and we were greeted by a nice young lady. And then I met some amazing people who were eating there, and we took some pictures. God is amazing. As soon as me and my wife were done taking pictures, the lady said the table was ready. As always, I don't want any special treatment. I want to be treated like everybody else. I pay for my food like everybody else. I'm a normal person. I'm a normal customer. Things like this is exactly why I do reviews the way I do. Just because I have a certain amount of followers on social media don't make me different from nobody. My mom, my mom-in-law, my sister, they all paying customers just like me. So I want them to be treated just like me. So I asked how long the wait time has been today. She said an hour to an hour and a half. So which I then asked, how were you able to sit me in 5 minutes? This is her response.
How long are we looking for as far as wait?
I'm just gonna set up everything. Like 5 minutes. On the wait, this all call came. Now it's whoever first come, first serve.
Again, my family just attempted to eat there less than 2 minutes ago. I then told her I changed my mind. We're gonna go eat somewhere else, and I said God bless you, and I walked out.
On second thought, it's okay. We're gonna go eat somewhere else. So I appreciate it though, for sure. Thank you. God bless. Thank you. Y'all have a great day.
Have a good one.
Have a great day.
I'm gonna be very transparent and honest. I am frustrated. Me and my family just trying to eat food. That's all we try to do. At the same time, while I am frustrated, I understand we are all humans. I do not agree. I do not support. I do not condone shaming this business based on my experience. Like every city we've been to since we've been on food tour, I go to an array of restaurants. From mom and pop shops to staples of the community to super popular to places nobody know about. And Atlanta has definitely been a unique experience for me and something I'll never forget. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, genuinely. But I'm a normal person and I want to be treated like everybody else. God bless you. Have an amazing day. Y'all be safe. And I'm not playing. I understand everybody got their own opinions on situations, but don't go leaving them 0-star reviews. You ain't never been here before. If you like to, come experience it yourself and then leave your reviews. But just leaving a review based on my experience is crazy in my opinion. God bless you.
And so, of course, that pissed him off because it's just like, why do you have all of these paying customers waiting outside in these long lines for long periods of time when you have tables available. But then if someone that's well known, like a celebrity or an influencer, because I also will say a lot of celebrities do go to Old Lady Gang because they know Candy. And so it's almost like they have tables on reserve just in the event that a celebrity comes by, and they'll have a table ready for them in like 2 minutes. But then you have regular paying customers who have been there waiting, and you know, they're just as important as these celebrities. I mean, your regular paying customers are the people that are mainly keeping your establishment going. And so to kind of put them to the side and not want to serve them, and you're prioritizing these celebrities, is like not okay. And that's something that Keith Lee pointed out. And now this is where things got a little intense online, because people had mixed reviews about this. And at this point, Keith Lee has made 2, if not more, negative reviews about the restaurants in Atlanta. I think he just put out another one today about another restaurant in Atlanta, and he didn't have a good experience there. He just overall has not had a good experience with eating in Atlanta. And you've been seeing a lot of people chime in, and a lot of people agreeing with him. A lot of people saying that the restaurants in Atlanta, their customer service is just awful. A lot of them, you know, prioritize celebrity and influencer culture, and they just don't really care about their customers like that. They care about the looks, the aesthetics, and catering to a certain demographic of people, and that just the eating experience there just isn't what it used to be. However, you of course have, you know, people on the other side that feel like you know, some of these reviews that Keith Lee is doing is only damaging Black businesses, and that he's putting a negative light on these businesses. But the thing is like, especially as a restaurant, you shouldn't only be catering to people that are well known. I'm sorry, it is up to you as the owner of the restaurant to make sure that you are always putting your best foot forward every single day, no matter who is walking through that door. And if you're not, you get called out for it, then, you know, that's on you. And I don't see anything wrong with what Keith Lee is doing. I don't think that he's doing anything different than people who go on Yelp and leave reviews for restaurants. And it got into this whole discussion about, you know, oh, is Keith Lee even qualified to be a food critic? For one, Keith Lee has said himself that he's not a well-established food critic with credentials. He's just a man with taste buds that goes around and leaves authentic reviews for these businesses. And like I said, he has changed the lives of so many people that it would be a disservice to recognize him for just these 2 incidents. He's literally been doing so much amazing work and helping businesses out that are doing what they're supposed to be doing. And, you know, it's not his fault if these restaurants aren't, you know, operating things the way that they should. And, you know, he got fed up with it. And I saw people saying too that like, oh, you know, why is Keith Lee upset that he's being treated like an influencer? Like, if you're a celebrity, take the benefits. And it's like, see, and this is where, you know, again, people nowadays, they don't look into the ethics of things. It's like, could Keith Lee take advantage of his quote unquote celebrity influencer status? Sure. But he knows that it's the principle of the situation. The fact that he's being treated better, or he's being seated quicker, the people that have been standing in line for an hour and a half, he knows that that's not right. That's not ethical. And that's what people fail to realize. In a lot of these situations, people forget about ethics. That's not okay to do. And so here he is standing up for people like us regular folk who don't have a celebrity status, who are just coming there to enjoy a meal. He's defending us and showing up for us and saying, hey, we deserve to be treated the same way that he deserved to be treated. And yet you still have people getting upset with him about that, getting upset with the fact that he wants better for us. He wants better for the people that are coming to these restaurants and looking to, again, enjoy a meal. And in a way, you could argue that he is, you know, because again, he doesn't do these reviews in a way of trying to bash or tear down these businesses. I think he wants them to do better. And so why not take that constructive criticism and, you know, rework some things? Like I said, the real milk and honey, I didn't realize that they had changed some of the rules, but they still have a lot of ridiculous rules on there, especially the food allergy. But all in all, it's like, again, the way that some of these businesses are handling these situations, I think goes to show you some of the people that are behind some of these restaurants and how some of them don't need to be in the restaurant industry. So yeah, like I said, I don't think Keith Lee is in the wrong at all for wanting to call out these businesses for unfair practices. Like I said, he's not doing anything different than what people do on Yelp when they go on there and they type up their reviews. None of these people are actual food critics that went to culinary school. Like, it's literally just people who, one, have taste buds, and two, know what it's like to be treated properly as a customer. Anybody can speak to that. And so yeah, I don't see anything wrong with what Keith Lee is doing. I don't think he's tearing down black businesses, because like I said, 99% of the time, if again you go on his TikTok and you look at all the places that he's gone out to eat at, hardly any of them are actually negative reviews. A lot of them are positive, and a lot of these places end up doing really, really well after his review. Some of them even opening up multiple locations. That's how much of a impact that Keith Lee has had. And so I don't think it's fair to only point out these negative experiences without also acknowledging the positive. And listen, again, a lot of people who live in Atlanta agree with Keith Lee. They're like, thank you for giving us a voice, because apparently people have been talking about this for a very long time and no one has been listening. It took for someone like a Keith Lee to bring to light a lot of the issues that these Atlanta restaurants are having. And so I don't see nothing wrong with what he did. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Do you think Keith Lee was in the wrong for calling out these black owned restaurants in Atlanta, or do you think that it was needed? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys go ahead and give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video.